My roommate owed me money. And rent was coming. Everybody thinks money problems look dramatic. Like overdraft alerts. Angry landlords. Somebody banging on your door at midnight. Real life is quieter. It's Thursday night. You're sitting on a mattress that still smells like plastic because you bought it temporarily 6 months ago. Your bank app says you have $143.27 left. Rent is $820. And your roommate, the same guy who said, "Bro, relax, I always handle my side," just texted, "Hey man." Small delay. I'll explain. That sentence alone should legally count as emotional damage. Because suddenly your brain starts calculating things you never planned to calculate. Late fees. Borrowing money. Selling stuff. Pretending you're not home. This isn't a story about a bad roommate. It's about how I learned the difference between trusting someone and depending on them financially. And yeah, I learned it the expensive way. His name was Marcus. Not a villain. Which honestly made everything worse. We met at work. Same warehouse job. Same shift. Same complaints about supervisors who walked like they personally invented stress. Marcus was funny. The type of guy who could turn a broken vending machine into a stand-up comedy routine. We bonded over cheap lunches and mutual exhaustion. One afternoon he said, "Bro, you still living with your aunt?" I nodded. He made a face like I admitted I still use training wheels. Man, we grown. Let's split a place. And honestly, I wanted independence so badly I could taste it. No curfew. No explaining why I came home late. No cousins using my charger like it was community property. Freedom sounded amazing. We found a 2-bedroom apartment online. Rent, $1,640 total. Split evenly. $820 each. Simple math. Dangerous words. The first week felt like a movie montage. We bought folding chairs because couches were future investments. A microwave that made suspicious buzzing sounds. One pan. Exactly one. Every meal tasted slightly like yesterday's eggs. Didn't matter. We were free. Marcus bought LED lights for the living room. I bought groceries like a responsible adult for exactly 3 days before discovering delivery apps existed. We made rules. Clean your dishes. Split utilities. Send rent by the 28th so nobody panics. Marcus laughed. Bro, I'm organized. That sentence should have echoed louder. Because organization isn't something you announce. It's something people notice. But at the time, I believed him. The first month was smooth. Second month too. Rent paid early. Electric bill handled. We even celebrated surviving adulthood with takeout that cost more than groceries. Then small things started happening. Marcus forgot utilities once. No stress, bro, I'll send it tomorrow. Tomorrow became 3 days. Then 5. Then I paid it because I didn't want electricity shut off. He reimbursed me later. No big deal. Except it kept happening. Internet bill. Trash fee. Random maintenance charge. Always apologies. Always friendly. Always late. Psychology people say humans forgive patterns when the person is likable. Marcus was extremely likable. Which turned into my biggest mistake. Here's where things got weird. Marcus never looked broke. New sneakers. Weekend trips. Food deliveries constantly arriving like he had sponsorship deals. Meanwhile, I was calculating whether buying extra chicken meant skipping snacks next week. One night I joked. "Bro, you secretly rich?" He laughed. "Nah man. Credit card points." He said it casually. Like using a credit card was a personality trait. Research suggests people mentally separate credit spending from real money. Your brain treats tapping a card differently than handing over cash. Marcus lived inside that illusion. I didn't realize yet that illusion eventually sends invoices. Month 4. He knocked on my door. Already bad. Nobody knocks casually in shared apartments. "Yo, small issue." I paused my game. What happened? My paycheck got delayed. I sighed but stayed calm. How long? Couple days. Rent was already paid from my account automatically. We agreed earlier it was easier that way. Meaning I covered full rent up front. He owed me $820. He paid 5 days later. Apologized. Bought pizza. Everything felt normal again. That's how problems grow. Quiet forgiveness. After that, my brain adjusted. I told myself. He always pays eventually. Eventually is a dangerous word. Eventually doesn't stop overdraft fees. Eventually doesn't calm anxiety at 2 a.m. when bills stack. But humans hate confrontation. Especially when the other person smiles and says thanks a lot. So I ignored it. Because peace felt easier than awkward conversations. Warehouse overtime season hit. I worked constantly. Extra shifts. Weekend loading trucks. My body felt like someone replaced bones with concrete. But my savings started growing. For the first time ever, I hit $2,300 saved. I remember staring at the number. Feeling safe. That feeling lasted exactly 3 weeks. Because Marcus lost his job. He sat across from me at the folding table. Hands clasped. Serious face. They cutting staff. I felt bad immediately. Nobody celebrates layoffs. You okay? Yeah. I'll bounce back fast. Confidence again. He said interviews were lined up. Savings existed. Temporary problem. Then came the sentence. Can you float rent this month? My stomach dropped. How long? Just this one. He sounded embarrassed. And honestly, I remembered being broke before. So I said yes. Mistake number 1. Month passed. No job yet. Excuses sounded reasonable. Hiring delays. Bad managers. Applications everywhere. He paid partial amounts. $200 here. $100 there. I convinced myself progress counted. But rent doesn't accept effort as payment. Month 2 arrived. Another request. I swear last time. I hesitated. But eviction scared me more. So I paid again. Savings dropped below $1,000. I stopped ordering food. Cooked rice like a survival expert. Marcus still ordered delivery sometimes. That part annoyed me. But I stayed quiet. Stress changes how you see everything. Groceries became calculations. Gas tank became strategy. I stopped going out with friends. Every notification felt expensive. Then utilities increased. Summer electricity bill. $214. I stared at it like it personally offended me. Marcus promised reimbursement soon. Soon again. Always soon. Research often shows financial stress affects sleep faster than almost anything else. I started waking up randomly at night. Checking my banking app. Like numbers could change if I stared hard enough. They didn't. Back to Thursday night. Rent due Friday morning. Marcus owed 2 months already. Total. $1,640. My savings? $143.27. Then the text arrived. Small delay. I'll explain. I walked into the living room. He wasn't home. LED lights glowing blue like emotional mood lighting for bad decisions. I called him. No answer. Again. Voicemail. That's when panic stops being theoretical. You start doing wild calculations. Sell gaming console. Borrow from coworkers. Call family you avoided asking for help from. I checked resale apps. My laptop maybe $400. Headphones $80. Random sneakers. Everything suddenly looked like money. I barely slept. At 7 a.m. the landlord emailed. Friendly tone. Which somehow felt worse. Reminder of rent deadline. Late fee after 48 hours. Eviction notice after repeated delays. Professional kindness hits harder than anger. Marcus came home around noon. Smiling. I almost lost it. Where were you? Interview. Hope flickered. Then he said. Also, my card maxed out. Pause. What? He explained fast. Credit payments stacked. Interest charges. Minimum payments rising. Apparently he'd been juggling balances for months. Using one card to pay another. That financial version of duct tape. He looked exhausted. I thought I could fix it before you noticed. That sentence sat heavy. Before I noticed. Meaning he already knew it was bad. I asked the only question that mattered. Can you pay rent? Silence. Long silence. He shook his head slowly. I need time. Time again. Except landlords charge money for time. I felt anger rising. But also fear. Because technically, lease had both our names. Meaning legally I was just as responsible. I learned something important that day. Shared responsibility doesn't mean shared effort. I called my older cousin. Worst call ever. Explaining adulthood failure feels like admitting you skipped instructions everyone else read. He listened quietly. Transferred $700. Pay me back when you can. Relief mixed with embarrassment. I covered rent. Again. Savings gone. Debt started. Marcus promised repayment. Again. I stopped believing promises that sounded rehearsed. Apartment energy changed. We spoke less. Every delivery bag annoyed me. Every laugh felt loud. Not because I hated him. Because resentment grows silently. Research suggests unresolved financial conflict damages relationships faster than personality differences. Makes sense. Money represents survival. One evening I finally asked, "How are you still ordering food?" He looked defensive. "I need comfort sometimes." Fair. But comfort funded by someone else feels different. 2 weeks later. I checked mailbox. Final notice letter. Utility company warning. Unpaid balance. Marcus forgot again. I paid it immediately. Hands shaking. Then something snapped. Not yelling. Not drama. Just clarity. I realized I wasn't helping him. I was protecting consequences from reaching him. And consequences teach faster than lectures. I sat him down. No jokes. No soft tone. Next month I'm paying only my half. He blinked. What? I can't cover you anymore. Panic flashed across his face. But we could lose the place. I know. Silence stretched. He looked hurt. Which almost made me backtrack. Almost. Then I remembered calling family for money. Losing sleep. Selling things mentally. Boundaries feel cruel when you first build them. But exhaustion feels worse. Marcus changed fast. Suddenly interviews multiplied. Temporary gig work started. Delivery driving. Warehouse shifts. Anything. Turns out urgency is powerful motivation. He sold sneakers. Cancelled subscriptions. Cooked actual food. Not instant noodles. Actual food. I realized something uncomfortable. He wasn't lazy. He just never felt real pressure before. I had absorbed it for him. Next month arrived. We both stood in the kitchen. Phones out. Transfer screens open. He sent $820. On time. No apology speech. Just quiet relief. I almost laughed. Stress lifted instantly. Amazing how numbers moving digitally can fix breathing patterns. Things improved. Slowly. He paid back portions of what he owed. Not everything. Probably never everything. But enough effort showed change. We talked honestly again. He admitted fear kept him avoiding conversations. I admitted avoiding conflict nearly ruined me. Adults don't magically become responsible. They learn through expensive lessons. Sometimes shared ones. Living with someone teaches strange truths. Friendship and finances operate under different rules. Nice people can still cause chaos. Good intentions don't pay invoices. And silence? Silence is expensive. I learned to read behaviors instead of words. To separate empathy from responsibility. To understand helping someone shouldn't require sacrificing stability. Because once survival enters the chat, everything changes. Freedom feels amazing until bills arrive. Cheap apartments aren't cheap when stress moves in. Likeable people still make bad financial choices. Credit cards hide problems until interest exposes them. Covering someone once feels kind. Covering them repeatedly becomes dangerous. Avoiding confrontation delays solutions. Savings disappear faster than expected. Borrowing pride hurts more than borrowing money. Boundaries don't destroy friendships. They reveal whether friendships were real. Shared leases require clear communication. Financial stress steals sleep quietly. Responsibility grows fastest under pressure. Helping isn't rescuing. And adulthood? Mostly learning math you wish you understood earlier. If you ever share rent with someone, talk about money early. Watch patterns. And remember this. Trust is emotional. Rent is mathematical. Confuse those two? You'll learn exactly like I did. On a Thursday night. With $143.27 left. Like if you've ever checked your bank app 5 times hoping the numbers magically increased. Subscribe if you survived first rent reality without crying in a grocery store aisle.